Welcome to the NBA Prop Pick Show powered by EV Analytics. I'm John Metler. He's Adam Scherher. Game 1 NBA Finals starting tonight, 8:30 Eastern. Feels like it's been a month since the last NBA game. I'm sure Adam feels the same way. When you're used to like the regular season, you're handicapping it's like 10 games tomorrow. And then before those games even end, you have the 8 games the next day with odds already posted. And it's just like a nonstop pace. Then all of a sudden you're like, I've been talking about the same game for a week here. So finally excited to get this going. Adam, what do you expect here from the NBA Finals?
OKC to just dog walk Indiana.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
Five games, gentleman sweep.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's kind of leaning into the 5. I had a media appearance somewhere else, and I was like, oh, Thunder and 5. And they're like, oh, it's about like plus 160. So you're going to bet that? I was like, no, it's just like my personal opinion. I don't think there's an edge on the number. It seems like every single person kind of has the 5, Thunder and 5. So that price kind of seemed pretty accurate to me. But yeah, I just don't. Everyone keeps talking, like trying to hype up the Pacers, and you're like, the defensive matchups, they don't like the way Indiana plays offense, and they move the ball and they try to put you in a blender and all those things, and they don't even really hunt matchups. It's just like there's no matchups to hunt, and it doesn't really matter to OKC like who are you going at. Even if you cause confusion, they have so many different defenders, so like they're not really going to get caught off guard. I don't see it. Do you want to add to that?
It kind of seems like there's a tendency to, and like obviously when you're talking media, like they have an incentive to hype up the series as well as they can. But it kind of just seems like people are getting caught up. Like, yeah, Indiana was impressive going through the Eastern Conference. They played well. The Eastern Conference is terrible, especially once you remove Cleveland and Boston, and like Cleveland was dealing with injuries. Obviously, you had the Tatum injury, but like the Eastern Conference is terrible. So there's also that. It's not like Indiana just like made it through the gauntlet that's the West and now they're in the finals. Like, yeah, cool, you came out of the East. It's not a good conference at all.
Yeah, like imagine their first series was like Clippers, then Nuggets, then
right.
then Timberwolves, or I feel like this series really comes down to, in my opinion, it's going to be OKC. Their offense really thrives off of creating turnovers and pushing the ball off of that and getting easy buckets. And then your other matchup is you have Halliburton. So can Halliburton limit the turnovers, and then slow down the OKC offense? But it's kind of like 10 times worse if he's turning the ball over and they're shutting him down. Then it's like, well, now you have this offense that doesn't typically turn it over. Now they're turning it over. That almost makes it way worse for the Pacers. So I feel like that like almost can Halliburton fend off the defense and not turn over the ball and kind of control pace? Or if OKC continues to force those turnovers, then I feel like the spread, just like you said, they just easily kill them. It's kind of concerning because Indiana always wins with playing 10 players and wearing you down over a series, and everyone is out there pushing pace because they don't play high minutes. OKC has 10 guys too. So like, where's your advantage now? That's kind of
OKC could like it. They could just both agree like, oh, we're going to play our entire roster. Like OKC is just deeper than Indiana. Like I don't know what advantage Indiana has. Like,
yeah,
obviously there's the, Halliburton, whether Halliburton's like a superstar now, like that conversation. He's still not the best guard in the series.
Yeah, I know. Everyone keeps talking about the Pacers offense against the Thunder defense. It's like, okay, well, what about the Pacers defense against the Thunder's offense? Because the Thunder has the MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So that's everyone's kind of focused on one side of the match there. I don't see it. Hopefully it's a good series. I do think it's going to be very entertaining from a betting perspective because they do go 10 deep, both teams. Yeah. So I feel like it's going to mix up the minutes where you could get other series where it's like, hey, here's our starting 5. Here's our starting 5. Everyone's playing 45 minutes. And then you're like, okay, well, this makes it pretty easy to price the player props, which doesn't give us many edges. So let's get going into the first pick here. We're going to go to FanDuel, and we're going for a rebound prop, and we're going Miles Turner over 5.5 rebounds plus 110 at FanDuel. So once again, that's Miles Turner over 5.5 rebounds plus 110 at FanDuel. Adam, you want to break this one down?
Yeah, this is similar to game 1 of the Indiana Knicks series. We took, I think it was an over on assists for Karl Anthony Towns. And it's a very similar situation where overall for the postseason, Turner's averaging like 6 rebounds per game, I believe. I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's 6 rebounds per game. But he's coming off this series with the Knicks where he did not rebound at all. It kept burning me in DFS because I would play him and he was just non-existent getting rebounds. But overall for the postseason, prior to that Knicks series, he was rebounding. He was leading the team in rebound opportunities. Over his last 4 games, which obviously is that Knicks series, he's averaging like less rebound chances per game than Tyrese Halliburton. So there's no guarantee he bounces back in the different matchup, but it seems pretty likely that a lot of that was just a matchup thing going up against that, Knicks front court. And so you get the line dropping, you get the price being better. And then now you get a new series where, we get game one. If he's still just completely non-involved and even having rebounding opportunities, then you learn from that and you move on. But I think the assumption for now should be that you just get back to like a normal Miles Turner, which at 5.5 plus 110 looks good. Like we haven't projected for 7 rebounds in 31 minutes. So the plus money here just looks good, assuming that you're just getting back to some sort of average Miles Turner rebounding performance.
Yeah, you could also see how the matchup would really play into that, because if he's playing guarding Karl-Anthony Towns, he's out on the perimeter a ton. You're not near the rim to grab rebounds. Versus, I would think whether he's on Hartenstein or Holmgren, they kind of hang out in the dunker spot a little bit more than a Karl-Anthony Towns would. So that would put Miles Turner near the rim more for rebounds. So you could definitely see how that would play. And also, if you're looking at his minutes, you would think you think they would need him on the court to some degree, because they have Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. They have 2 bigs. So I mean, I don't think you can go small and put Siakam at the 5 against the Thunder. It depends what the Thunder do. That's what's really interesting about this whole series, I guess, is both coaches are going to try to play chess here. But I would think Miles Turner's minutes are pretty secure. And like the matchup, again, it's another one of those, they price these off of like most recent box scores. And you're like, well, we just flipped to a new matchup here. And we think the matchup really plays. 5.5 just seems really low. I don't really follow rebounds props all that closely, but I feel like Miles Turner's usually like 6.5, 7.5, or at least definitely 6.5. So the 5.5 at plus money really grabs your attention as well there. So
yeah, he's at 4.9 for the playoffs overall, but obviously that's including that Knicks series. If you go back from the start of the postseason to the beginning of the Knicks series, he's at 6 rebounds. So like obviously you can't just completely throw away that Knicks series, but again, you're likely to just be getting back to a normal Miles Turner here.
Yeah, for sure. First bet, Miles Turner over 5.5 rebounds plus 110 at FanDuel. What are the second bet here? We're going to go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 6.5 assists plus 114 at FanDuel. Once again, that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 6.5 assists plus 114 at FanDuel. Adam, you want to break this one down?
Yeah, this is just getting a good number on what he's done so far in the postseason. So again, obviously it comes with the caveat of different matchup. Maybe Indiana does a better job forcing the ball out of SGA's hands. Maybe you see his scoring come down, his assists go up. That's certainly something that, you could see happen here. But for the postseason, he's averaging 6.9 assists per game, and you're getting plus money here. You have obviously blowout risk in any game, but like SGA's on the better team. There's always some chance that OKC just runs Indiana out of the gym in any given game. So you have that as an out when you're betting an under as well. 9.5 point favorites here at home. It's not like this game has a 3-point spread and you should be shocked if SGA loses 3 minutes at the back end of the game. So you have that as an out. And again, overall, this is pretty much in line with what he has averaged in the postseason, but you're getting plus 114 on it. I do think that there certainly is a chance that, you see Nesmith, you see Nembhard, you see Indiana just basically saying, we're going to make anybody but SGA beat us. We're not going to lose games because SGA scores 35 points. And if that does happen, then yeah, the assists are going to go up. But going into game one, you're like getting the plus money here is the real driver. If the prop was priced for that to happen, or if this was, minus 120 or something, and the prop was priced in a way where like there's an assumption that SGA is not going to have the ball forced out of his hands, et cetera, then you ignore it. But here where that's clearly that chance is clearly baked in, I think just betting the average on what he's done this postseason looks good.
Yeah, I'll answer the question too here, because I think it kind of plays as well. Is Nesmith or Nembhard guarding SGA? I think it's got to be Nembhard, because I don't think Nembhard is big enough to guard Jalen Williams. So yeah, I think you need Nesmith on Jalen Williams. So I think it's Nembhard on SGA. The Knicks series was a little bit different because you could put Nesmith on Brunson, because Nembhard, I think, could guard Mikal Bridges. So just like slightly different matchups there. I will say, from watching the Pacers in the past, and like even I watched some film against SGA and stuff, they're not really a team that like overly helps. Like it's almost like, hey, we have good wing defenders. We have Nembhard, we have Nesmith. It's your matchup. Like win it. And like if he's gonna drop 40 on you, he's gonna drop 40 on you. And you've seen Jalen Brunson do that, not so much this playoffs, but last playoffs. Another good team, because they're obviously a team I watch a lot, is the Orlando Magic do that a bunch too, where you're like, hey, this is a really good defense. Maybe I should take the under on a superstar, but they kind of just put the pressure on one player to shut him down because we have really good defenders. So that really plays towards the assists, because if you're not sending blitzes and you're not sending a ton of help, he's going to shoot it. He's not going to pass it. So
Right.
you'd be passing it if you're sending those blitzes, and you'd be passing it if they're really forcing the ball in his hands. Obviously, they're going to help. They're not just not going to help, but they're not. I don't think the Pacers are a team that are going to overcommit their help to the point where it creates a bunch of shots everywhere else. And SGA has also kind of shown you during these playoffs, he's going to put pressure on your defense. And if he goes 10 for 30 from the field, he goes 10 from 30 from the field. That's kind of his role. He just thinks that opens it up for everyone else, which it does. That's kind of the role of our superstars, take tough shots. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's more points than assists for SGA in the series, because I just kind of think that's what the Pacers are fine with conceding. That's kind of what they've shown you in the past. So I like the play. SGA under 6.5 assists plus 114. Those are 2 bets for NBA Finals Game 1. Me and Adam, not much hope for the Pacers, we don't think, but we'll see. I mean, we got multiple games for the series. I mean, they've kind of shocked you all the way up to this point, and that's what people keep asking me. They're like, well, they took out the Cavs. They won in Madison Square Garden. Do you not think they can beat the Thunder? And it's like, I just feel like the Thunder, everything the Pacers do well, the Thunder do it a little bit better. And I feel like that's always concerning when you're playing someone, because it's like they're just a little bit better at the way you play. So I don't feel like they'll have a hard time catching people off guard, but we will see. The 2 bets for Game 1 NBA Finals: Miles Turner over 5.5 rebounds plus 110 at FanDuel. And the second bet is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 6.5 assists plus 114 at FanDuel. This concludes the NBA Prop Pick Show powered by EV Analytics. Good luck with your bets. Enjoy Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Chris, play the song.